Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to show off 4 of the fastest 1v1 starts in Fortnite. Unfortunately though, this may be my last creative video since Zane Season said I suck. I'm just not sure I have the confidence to keep going, and no, I'm just kidding. I completely destroyed that clown after he tried to roast me, and you guys know I will never stop making videos. You all really seem to love the last one of these I made, so to help Zane out because his career is down the drain, I decided to make another one. As always, I'll show what the start is, why it works, and then an in-game, or in this case, an in-creative example. So let's start with my personal favorite new 1v1 start, the booty cone. This is a move I learned from the man himself, Booty Clap KC, and it's probably the most effective start in the game. To pull it off, all you gotta do are 290s up, extend a ramp out, build a cone, edit one of the top tiles so the cone breaks, and then turbo build a cone on the other side of the ramp. You want to make sure you're a little behind the halfway mark on the ramp in order to place the second cone. You also want to make sure your crosshair is positioned just above the top of the ramp. If it's too high up or too low down, it won't place where you want it to. Now, the reason this works is because your opponent will be doing double 90s, and as soon as they go to get a ramp over you, they'll get coned. This will force them to take a step back and either cone jump out to the side or turn around and go the other way. Regardless of what they do, the point is that they lost their momentum, while at the same time, you're a level or two above them on high ground. I think my favorite part about the booty cone is how many different variations there are. On top of the basic version, you can add in a wall after you place the cone that you'll then edit through, or you can do a 90 off the top of the ramp and out the other direction. However, with everything good in life, there are always ways to get around it, which a good opponent will slowly catch on to. Luckily for you guys watching though, there also happen to be counters to the counters. Let's say your opponent cone jumps out to the side, like I said they do before. The simplest way to stop that is to build cones out to the side after you place the initial booty cone. But what if they place a wall and a cone, and use the wall to do a 90? This is a little trickier, but what you can do is place a wall in front of your second ramp, 90 off of it, then run on top of the cone you never edited and cone their ramp off like so. At full speed, you're essentially doing a triple 90 with a fake ramp and cone in the middle. Then you're using the same little grid placement trick to cone the other side of your opponent's wall. All in all, you can see from these clips Booty Clap got against top tier pros like Liquid Riversan, Ghost Bizzle, and NRG Epic Whale that this start definitely works. So go out, master it, and there's no reason you should ever be on low ground again. Moving on, the second start is something I learned from Parallel Psycho. It's a little more advanced than the other ones, but not too crazy or too difficult to pull off. What you want to do is start with your normal 90s, and then throw out a ramp and cone in the direction of your enemy. Do another 90 and build 2 ramps like this. After that, build 2 walls to your left, 2 ramps on top of those, do a 90 to the left, and then again, throw out a ramp and cone. You can finish with 190 to the left and 2 ramps that I'll usually cone off and use to stay on high ground. I really like this retake because it's safe, as you never get in a position to get ramped over at the start, and there's 2 different opportunities to block off your opponent. The first is after you build the 2 walls on top of your fake cone. If your opponent tries the famous click start that basically everyone does now, they'll end up stuck under the ramp on low ground. Then the other opportunity comes as soon as you do the second fake cone. If your opponent is a scumbag like Zane who does 90s to height limit, they'll meet you at this point and try to ramp over you. However, because your cone is there, they cannot. So instead, they'll try to ramp up to the right. By this time, you'll be just below the fake ramp and perfectly in range to cone them. Once they're coned, you can take high ground and go for a shot. Here's a clip of Parallel Psycho using this start, who, by the way, rarely if ever loses 1v1s. He doesn't end up catching the guy with those initial ramps at the beginning, but he does manage to cone the guy at the end and slow him down enough to secure high ground. Also, let me point out that he was never in any danger of getting shot at or ramped over himself. The final example is a different variation from Evade Carry You. We see him cone off the double ramps on top of the wall, and then instead of doing a left 90, he uses the cones to do a right 90 and get high ground the other way. The third retake is a new trick that allows you to gain 2 levels faster than any 90s in the game, and of course, gain high ground straight from the get-go. What you're doing is jumping and building a ramp, floor, and then landing on another ramp. So in one jump, you're essentially going up 1.5 levels. I believe this was discovered by Parallel Beats, but I myself learned it from the gamer couple. My tip for mastering it is to start easy with just the ramp and floor. To do that, position yourself at the top left side of your floor, look straight down, and then when you're at the peak of your jump, turbo build a ramp, then floor. You'll end up phasing through the floor for about 1/4 of a second, and then it'll push you up on top. Be aware, the timing and positioning is extremely important here, because if you build too early, you'll end up under the ramp, and if you build too late, you'll end up under the floor. Go ahead and practice that until you master it and can land on the floor every single time. Next, you're going to add in the second ramp. This is the tricky part because you have to land at the very bottom of it. That's why I turn to the right and place the ramp in the other direction. Again, practice that until you can pull it off with ease and you're finally ready to do it in a 1v1. Just place down the floor, pull off the trick, and finish it off with some 90s. The gamer couple did some tests to see how much faster this trick is than traditional 90s, and the results were insane. To go up just 3 levels, normal triple 90s takes a full second longer than utilizing this new trick. I know that may not sound like a lot of time, but in any 1v1 start, a full second can make or break your entire fight. Altogether, if you're looking for a cheeky start that will definitely catch your opponent off guard, this is the one for you. The fourth and final start I'm going to show is a neat little move I learned from my fellow tips and tricks YouTuber, Exalted. Start by doing a 1 jump double 90, which if you don't know how to, just do a regular 90, and as soon as you land, 90 again without jumping. So you're basically running up the second 90. Back to the start, you're then going to jump forward to place a wall, turn to your right, place a cone above you, and build a ramp. At this point, you can either edit out through the cone and up for high ground, or what I like to do is use my momentum and do an elevated cone jump out to the side. The main reason this start works is because when you throw up that wall, your opponent won't be able to ramp or cone over you, and will instead have to ramp off of it. While they do that though, you'll already be doing your cone jump out to the side and be a level above them on height. This is why I say to jump and place the wall, as it places the wall earlier than their ramp or cone. Plus, it positions you perfectly for the next half of the move. By the way, the version Exalted shows is a little simpler as he does normal 90s and then runs up to place the wall. So I guess either way works. But just be aware, you can get ramped over if you don't jump forward to place the wall like I showed in mine. Overall, my friends, those are 4 of the fastest 1v1 starts in Fortnite. I kid you not when I say a majority of top creative players use at least one of these starts. My go-to has to be the booty cone, not only because of how simple yet effective it is, but it's got the best name ever. Let me know down below which your favorite start was, as well as which start you're currently using. Also, if you enjoyed the video, then do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. For some reason, I'm still getting tweets and messages from people who are using the wrong code. Apparently, some weirdo made a code called It's Jarian, but that is not my creator code, so please do not use it. My creator code is Jerian, not It's Jerian. Use code Jerian. Don't worry if you've been using the wrong code, just make sure you use the right one now. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.